Nerf Rival Curve is another sub-series of Rival. It uses the same Rival ammunition that you've known and loved. They are compatible with all existing Rival rounds, and I would assume all future Rival rounds. The Rival Flex is the newest and cheapest in the entire line, ringing in at $15. Now that is $5 more than the Nerf Rival Knockout, and we will talk about that towards the end of the video. But start making your judgments. Do you think this is going to be worth the extra $5? But it actually has some improved function over the Nerf Rival Knockout, and the fact that one of the steps to reload the entire blaster is skipped. On the box, it claims 90 FPS and comes with 5 Rival rounds. The back of the box shows off the curve functionality and what it's supposed to do. Essentially, the muzzle of the blaster twists, allowing you to curve your shots, supposedly, in multiple directions. So you can twist the nozzle to the right, the left, or even downwards to curve the Rival round in different ways. What surprised me is that the Rival curve muzzle actually snaps into predetermined places, so it will click softly into the position for curving the round to the right, to the left, and yes, even upside down. The Flex itself is an interesting design. It's got a T-pole on the bottom of it that is absolutely freaking massive, a trigger and a safety in front of that trigger that works like a toggle switch. Upwards is safe, downwards is fire. There isn't a whole lot of different color on this blaster. The muzzle itself is a different color of orange from most of the rest of the body, but there's a splash of white and even a splash of black in there, and one paint decal for the Rival logo. Operating the blaster is pretty straightforward, as you would expect. You simply pull down the T-pole, and the breech opens up. You then drop a Rival round in there, close the breech, and you're ready to fire. So something like that. And it hits pretty hard. They advertise a 90 FPS velocity out of the box, and I've gotten upwards of 95 multiple times with this blaster. So that's exactly the kind of thing we want to see. Underestimating your range and velocity claims is a lot better than overestimating them. There's also a nice little loop right here on the back of the blaster if you want to attach a lanyard or something to it, or I guess that's also there if you want to use one of the Rival team colored flags, because this, of course, doesn't have any of the team coloration going for it, which, for all we know, could be completely dead now. Honestly, it was kind of a weird gimmick to begin with, but I guess everybody's now Team Orange, which could be mistaken for Team Red. I have no idea. But most importantly, does the actual curve gimmick work? And I'm happy to report that yes, the curve not only works, it's actually extremely effective. Simply twist the nozzle to the right or the left and you will curve a round to the right or to the left, while if it's in the static upwards position, your round will go relatively straight. That's not always, we're still dealing with Rival here, but it does a good enough job. Something that I neglected to delve into with the Flex that I will delve into in the video on the side swipe, so go ahead and get subscribed because we'll be doing that video very soon, is the downwards shot. So we're not going to cover that in this video, but I have a lot to say about it in the side swipe video. But it works. It works exceptionally well. The Rival Flex is rather accurate out of the box, and the curving mechanism does work. I can see this technically being useful in a lot of different situations. The dart storage on the side works relatively well, the reloading process is extremely quick. Really, there's a lot to like about the Nerf Rival Flex, except for the issue I'm having with mine, which is an issue I've seen other people talk about on the internet, all over Facebook and what have you, and that's the catch. These blasters are very similar to the Nerf Rival finisher in that they're starting to use plastic springs and lots of weird little corner cutting pretty much everywhere. And if you noticed with my Flex, I'm having issues with the catch. This was straight out of the box. The first time I tried to prime it, it wouldn't catch. And you really have to pull it a specific way, almost downwards at an angle, in order to get this thing to catch. But it does work. For how long, I seriously wonder. And that's a major disappointment for this blaster because, of course, the Knockout had none of those problems and was $5 cheaper. But since the breech automatically opens when you prime the blaster, that does mean you're technically skipping a step in the Nerf Rival Knockout's reloading process. However, I would argue that's almost superficial at this point. Really, I kind of wish they would have figured out a way to have the breech close when you primed it down instead of opened when you primed it down. It's also not nearly as nice of a build quality as the Nerf Rival Knockout at $5 more, and it only comes with 5 Rival rounds, even though it has spots for 8 on the included dart storage. So it's kind of a more expensive Rival Knockout that, in my opinion, is slightly less nice. But does that mean the Rival Flex is bad? Well, maybe don't get them immediately, because I'm having issues, other people are probably having issues, and while it can be rectified by kind of pulling down like that. I really don't like having to do that with this blaster. That scares me because I feel like I'm gonna probably... Wow, I didn't even pull the trigger that time. It just... Yeah, that's an issue, and that's perhaps a safety issue, too. That is a little concerning to me. And at $15, that is the same price as the Rival Finisher, which was magazine-fed. So it's a little bit hard for me to recommend just for the twisty nozzle. But it does work, and with enough practice, you could find yourself shooting Rival rounds behind cover, which may completely change the way a lot of people play. I haven't done enough with this. I might have to do another video in the future on how hard it is to actually hit somebody from behind cover. So if you wanted to pick up a cheap blaster that you could potentially practice with, the Rival Flex is definitely an option for you. But again, maybe not pick up one of the initial launch ones. Really, it's not a bad blaster, but the value just isn't there for me. And with that kind of issue with it not catching, now it's working perfectly fine. I don't know, well, maybe I scared it into working, but who knows how long that's going to last. Yeah, I have some concerns. Let me know what you think about the Curve series. Is that something that you're actually looking forward to using? Is that something you think will be useful to you? I'm really interested to see what your responses on that will be. I even put up a little poll before I did this video to see what people thought about that, and some people are pretty excited. But of course, this isn't the only blaster in the line, so join me next time when we'll be taking a look at the Nerf Rival Curve Sideswipe, a much bigger, much more interesting blaster in my opinion. I'm Walcom S7, thank you very much for watching this video. If you watched it all the way to the end to get to this point, please hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you aren't subscribed, because we have a lot more coming, and that's the easiest way to get notified of when I upload a new video. And of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one.
You gotta up,